was inspired to write this down. So before we begin, this is the beginning. Today there will be changes, which you may or may not feel immediately, but it will happen very gradually or subtly, but you will all experience it. Everyone here may be seeking something different from today, or even come out of curiosity, but send out your own silent prayer and ask. In a scientific experiment, doctors give out half of those taking part a placebo. After a time, those with the placebo find out that they have actually benefited from the placebo effect. What I'm saying is, even if some of you aren't quite sure about what unfolds today, but are open as you are for being here and taking part in the Temple of Light, that there will be a change, even a significant change, in a positive way. Now, if you really believe in what will unfold today and fully open to the process of the colour, the music vibration with the angels, you will be truly transformed. Expect the unexpected. I never ever thought of this. Now, when playing the pieces of music here today, we hope you will think of and expect to feel positive experiences. You may keep sitting. You may stand if you wish. Don't go though, please. That's why I put that in. But hold to the good feel factor. Now, when you don't have to do this, but I would quite like, they would like you to put your thumb to your third finger, like this. And it's a really good feel factor. Well, you can hold it like that, whatever, but you don't have to do it all the time, in case they, with power, could stick together, but just like this. So it's a good feel factor. Sometimes when people are jogging in the streets, I say, I was dying to say to them, you don't have to, you can do a brisk walk, but go like this. You know, so when you're listening to the music, right, John and I are going to start, and we're going to play The Romance by Shostakovich. So if you want to do that, if you want to stand, but hope you enjoy it. It's his famous romance from the Gadfly, and we thought we should start with this. need to tell you some difficult things next. So, it's my pronunciations I'll have to watch. We are walking an uncharted path, but have guidance and inspiration from the master musicians of the past and the master philosophers, like Pythagoras, who was known for the Pythagorean mathematical theorem. Glad that's over. But it was believed Pythagoras maintained that the planets and the stars moved according to mathematical equations, which correspond to musical notes, and it produced an inaudible symphony of sound. Pythagoras formed a special school believing that everything in the world could be explained by numbers. He was a man of science and mystical doctrines. For a right-angled triangle, the sum on the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides, is what in school we learned and was what we thought he was famous for. But Pythagoras himself discovered the numerical ratio which determines the concordant intervals of the musical scale. So Pythagoras held the body to be strung like a musical instrument of a certain pitch, taking place of the high and the low in notes in music. Musical tuning and health are like means of arising from the application of the limit to the unlimited. Right. Pythagoras was a fine musician. He played the lyre, and he used music as a means to help those who were ill. So the inspiration which is coming from the master musicians, as Reverend Brenda has said, has been opened by the Russian composer Dmitri Shostakovich. I asked why me, why choose us, and the answer immediately came back. You might have heard this before, why not? So when you say something, why me, and the answer comes, why not? Then an explanation in part is because of our musical training, history, experience, background, humility, spirituality, a psychic knowing that I've suppressed for many, many years. Also our connection here with the Temple of Light, which is very, very significant. And with Reverend Marion Butler, who we've never met, but who's orchestrating today and looking on. So she has been very much a part. Now we're going to play for you next a piece, a very famous piece, and it's been really well arranged, isn't it? It's a beautiful piece. It's called Jesu Joy of Man's Design. And when we say about experiencing change, everyone here today will feel something different by the different vibration.
Before you begin?
Yeah.
I'd like to share this with you because we had a bad case of cancer, not in this country, and one of the sister of this gentleman asked for help for this particular case. He had a very bad tumour in his pancreas, and of course I was pulling all stops out for him. But it came through in this way. As I was tuning in now to the guides here, asking for help, and the spirit doctors here that was using us, I asked a special, what can be done extra for this gentleman? And of course, I linked in with Iris and with John over this. And as I was tuning in, I heard the 9th Symphony from Beethoven. And I didn't recognize it at the time. But it's got to be played, they said, on the harp. So I thought, well, I contacted Iris and John, and when I went on my iPad and I went to research this, and it was the Ode to Joy, I suddenly realized it was very popular. But I said, can you play this on the harp, I said. And they did, bless them. And they did send it out to this person with the angel, with the woolen angel, that he had to place on his body. And so it was amazing. He's well and strong. The tumour came away. There was no after effects in the pancreas whatsoever. And he's been in touch with me. He sent me a letter this week saying how grateful he was and how he was listening to this ode to joy that gave him that wonderful upliftment. And so this is what they're going to play now for us.
Yeah,
the ode to joy.
Yes, we play the ode to joy now in a few minutes. First we're going to play Jesu Joy, which is similar, but I'm going to play ode to joy on the harp. So this is Jesu Joy, Man's Desiring. We've never played it together until recently, for many years, and it brings back nice memories. something that really lifts us forward. Now, I think my husband's supposed to say something, John's supposed to say something, because I'm supposed to say something about the angels afterwards.
Is this the circle of light, would it be?
Yes.
I found my slot. I've just written a few words here about the way we came to be called the Circle of Light. And in looking for it, for our ensemble, we meditated on various titles that would resonate with our musical and spiritual motivations. When Reverend Gwenda asked us to perform for the 30th anniversary, it's about a year and a half ago now, in the Temple of Light, the four of us who were playing were guided by Reverend Gwenda to use this title, which had been given to us. So, the Circle of Light musicians, which I think I can say at this point is Iris was questioning in true Libra fashion whether to bring the vase here, which is a globe of light. And should we bring the vase? I said, I'm not sure. And then I looked at it and saw it was green, and Iris being a Libra, that rang with the six vibrations, 6 notes of the musical scale, in the key of F. What's it now? The key of A. That's right. I'm sorry, I'm confusing myself now. Anyway, it came about that there was a chip on the vase, and I said, oh, don't worry, I'll get my emery paper out. So I emeried the vase smooth, and in doing so, it came up with a note, as all china vibrates with a certain sound. And I heard this sound appear somewhere on the piano. Oh, I thought, that's got to come with us. So here we are, it's on the 6th note of the scale, which is the Libra, isn't it? Is it Libra? Have I got it right, Iris?
Let's carry on.
Let's carry on. So around this time, we've been drawn to angels more than ever before. And then, more recently, Iris had the idea of making them, which was a great surprise to me, as she didn't have an aptitude for sewing my buttons on. The floodgates opened, and angels were multiplying in our house. And in fact, a neighbour came in and around Christmas time, and he said, "You've got a lot of angels." Yes, we said, I was busy making more. He said, "Well, you have room because our house is quite highly decorated." He said, "Well, you've always got the floor." So, and that's, in fact, where a lot of them were for a while. So, it started with one and it turned into a host. And from the energy that Iris received and from the angels, it's still continuing and developing, inspiring our music and helping others in their healing and well-being, and increasing our awareness of colour and vibration, which have come a lot since the angels have happened. And also we had a visit to Amsterdam, and most impressed by the tulip gardens there, the famous gardens. And the colour was absolutely drew you in, said some of the colours. So, and also during this time we've been led to research the numbers relating to the colours. I'm still quite new at it, but I've picked up various things intuitively about what some of the colours mean. In fact, one of the pieces we played, I'm going to play, will be in E flat major, and E flat I found was the key that Holst used in his planet suites for the Jupiter theme. And I realised then that, that is on the 3rd vibration, the planet Jupiter, and it just rang so true, and I had to play that piece today for you.
Would you like us to play a piece now?
So, yeah.
You've been saying more in a minute.
I was just going to say, the numbers that we work with are based on the Hebrew Chaldean system of numerology. So it's discovered by I'm sure before the Egyptians discovered it. So there we are. I will continue with the Jupiter theme in E flat.
We can do knock.
Oh, the knock first. Oh, we've got to allow the knocks to happen before Jupiter can arise.
Okay, so we're going to first play knock because it's very important. Knock and the door will be open to you. Ask and you will receive. So this is part of the Circle of Light composition, but we won't be playing it today. We'll only be playing the first movement, knock, because everyone should knock at the door, and some people get the door knocked and don't answer it, as Reverend Gend will tell you concerning us. So this is a piece called Knock from the Circle of Light. I discovered the other day one of the knocks as well, as there were 3 knocks in it, was of bad omen for Shostakovich. She was always very, very afraid that when you heard the knocks, that it was the secret police going to take him away because of his music and what he believed. So he was in fear of his life, and often he used to stay outside of his apartment at night so his family wouldn't be taken, so he'd be taken on his own. But luckily they didn't come for him, but they came for a lot of his friends and a lot of his artists and poets and musicians, the secret police in Russia. It was very, very hard life. So I only discovered that recently. Now, I always associate this piece with the Temple of Light. This is Amazing Grace. So this is in E flat. So all of this is E flat, which is very, very calming. Okay.
Dr. Gustav Holst for that piece, which he so finely introduced into his Planet Suite.
Now, all those, the Amazing Grace were actually in the same keys. They were the colours yellow. Now, John's going to play an extract from in C, which is from Finlandia by Sibelius, and this is the colour red. Before we play the Ode to Joy by Beethoven, which I'm going to do with John on the harp today, I just want to say a quick word this morning about the angels. The bit that said is that it's difficult to explain the unexplained. It will undoubtedly put limit on something that has no limit and is open to interpretation. But the angels are. The angels, their colours and their vibrations are everyone's window of opportunity to connect these of the earth with those of the heaven or the highest realms. The healing available through this process is changing and developing. But some philosophers, mystics and master musicians from the past have always recognised the connection between the colour of music and the sound, having a positive healing effect. Reverend Marion Butler and Reverend Gwenda have both been highly involved with this colour and sound vibration in the healing. Now, here today, everyone here will take away their own angel at the end. And we'll talk later how you will connect the earth with those of the heavenly realms. Okay? All things are possible with him who believes. So, and you will have your own specific colour with specific vibration, especially for you. Everyone's been different. None are the same, and when I've been making them, I know that they're made for someone, and I don't know who, but I think, that's really great. And sometimes I think to myself, before I said, oh, the colours, and I thought, no, it's lovely, it's for someone. So everyone will have their own. Now, don't go too fast, right, Beethoven, Ode to Joy. And as Reverend Gwenda said earlier, it had a most transforming effect on someone, life-changing, life-saving. Now, I'll just put these down before I come and do something. Now, we're going into the key of D, and this is a different, so this is a similar colour, and you will all probably know this piece. It's Sugan. And now we're going to play for you in the same key. This is The Water is Wide. Take part, we're all doing it together, it's an interaction. You know, it's healing, it's uplifting, and it really is. I want to tell you about Verity and Giles, our children, knew we were doing this, you see. So, what do they call me? Oh, Weird and Wonderful Mummy. But not always. But they knew we were doing music and colours, but they know we're very interested, extremely interested in music and colours. And Verity woke up in the summer on holidays and sang this piece. It was this with lovely words, you know. And I said, I don't know that. I got to try and find it. And I thought, gosh, we should really include this it's called, and I said, True Colours. And very strange where inspiration sometimes comes from. And it was come from this troll cartoon. So we Googled it, and we played it on YouTube. And then Giles, my son, he showed us the film, so we saw this film. And when these little trolls were sad, the colours drained from them. And this really was telling us something. And then when they sang, the colour came through the body. So if you Google it on YouTube, if you haven't seen this True Colours, it's really quite symbolic, and how, even through a cartoon, how we can get inspiration. And it was telling us really, when we're a bit flat, we are feeling a bit grey, and then with the colours coming through. So this is True Colours. So John is so good. He put it down so that we could do it together. So we're just going to play a little snippet. It's just the chorus of the True Colours, showing that how the colours come up and it fills the body, and it's really healing. And so the children who see this, and adults as well, it's very inspiring. So I've got to love these little trolls in a short space of time. Now, that's the F and the colour, that's the colour green. So we're surrounded by lots of green, so it's sort of really symbolic for feeling green. You feel very peaceful and uplifted with. Are we doing Cavalier Rusticana? My told me the other day, she's received a lot of healing, and she's really so grateful to Reverend Brendan and Temple of Light there. She told me that when she got married, she was really a bit disappointed, because the organist, who was my godfather, he wouldn't play Here Comes the Bride. Instead, he played the intermezzo by Cavalier Rusticana by Mascagni. And she says she's so glad now that he played that rather than Here Comes the Bride. So, we can play it. So this is also green in the key of F. So that's very lovely. Now, would you like to say something before we do our
Yes,
next?
I would.
Please.
Now, to give Iris and John a break now, any one of you want to come forward with your name and your date of birth, we will take that now and welcome. A lovely surprise. That'll be a bad one. Anyway, if you like to give us just your first name, not necessarily your second name, because it changes. So your first name and your date of birth, will you please come forward then while they have a break, and then we'll have then a break for lunch then at 1 o'clock and till 2. So this will give us a time